Hello and welcome to another video by PCSimplest.com. Today we're talking about computer essentials, and what I mean by computer essentials is mainly programs that are pretty much essential to run your computer, plus I'm going to throw in some of my preferred programs, and we're going to talk about how we are going to install them. And there's a very simple way to do this, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I use Ninite.com. Let's just go ahead and kick this off. The first thing that we need to do is open up a browser, and what we're going to do is just type in www.ninite.com. That's just Ninite.com. Go ahead and hit enter, and you'll see as soon as we pull this up here, install and update all your programs at once. And you'll see what we mean once we go through this, because this is by far the easiest, most simple way to install and update programs on your computer. What we're going to do is we're going to first talk about some of the essentials here, and I don't want to touch base on every single one of these programs here because one, I don't use a lot of these, and two, a lot of these you won't need to use either. So what we're going to do is just start off with web browsers, and you'll see here we have Chrome, Opera, and Firefox. These all obviously have different, feels to them. Google Chrome is my favorite, so I'm just going to go ahead and select that. Firefox is something that I always install also. It's just nice to have a secondary browser. I don't really like using Internet Explorer as a secondary browser, so typically I'll use Firefox. So these are kind of what I like to call essentials when using a computer. So we'll go ahead and check those and we'll move on. Under utilities, there's really nothing notable here that's going to be an essential that you need to have to run your computer, or an essential that I would tell you to install on your computer. So we're going to skip utilities and we'll go to messaging. You'll see here the top one is Skype. That's kind of a big one with me. I have family that lives far away, so I like to use Skype so we can video conference and all that stuff. So that's kind of an essential for me. It seems like today everybody uses Skype. Next we'll go to media. iTunes is a big one. I mean, that's everybody almost, it seems like, uses iTunes. If you have an iPhone or an iPad or iPod, whatever, you more than likely use iTunes. So we'll go ahead and check that. The next, I'm going to say the next notable mention that you definitely should have is VLC. VLC is a media player mainly for videos and stuff like that. It plays just about everything. I mean, any type of video you throw at it, it should play it. It's much better than Windows Media Player. It runs a lot better, a lot smoother, a lot easier to use and manage everything. So VLC is definitely something you want to install. I'm just going to definitely put that one on there because it's great for playing videos. We can go down the list here. You may see a few that you might use. Audacity, you can record your record sounds and stuff through it if you have a microphone. I'm just going to go ahead and check it because I always have that installed too. If you use Spotify, you can install that through here. QuickTime is definitely a big notable one. If you record any type of video with your, again, iPhone, iPod, iPad, you'll need QuickTime to play that video from your computer unless you have VLC. VLC will also play it, but another notable thing about QuickTime is sometimes on the web you might run into something where QuickTime is required to play the video. Typically you'll see that anytime you play some type of Apple related video online, not directly from Apple, but just a format that's typical to Apple. So next we'll go on to runtimes. Runtimes are basically essential programs that you need installed to run a lot of websites on the internet today. Java is a big one. Just there's so many websites that require Java, and you need to have Java updated all the time. It's pretty terrible, but we won't get into that today. Java is an essential. All of these runtimes here are essentials. .NET, that's an essential. Silverlight, that's essential. If you use Netflix, Netflix uses Silverlight. You need Silverlight. Adobe Air, another essential, and Adobe Shockwave, that's another essential. Again, these are essential programs right here under runtimes that you need to run a lot of different websites. If you ever have issues where you're running some kind of Flash stuff or silly goofiness in websites, make sure you have these programs installed. And we're going to move on to compression. Maybe you've heard of like WinZip in the past, WinRAR. We're just going to check that one for now because that's the easiest one to use out of these bunch. But anytime you have like a zipped file that somebody sends to you, typically where they are attaching a lot of documents to it and it'll compress it down to a smaller size, you need a program like WinRAR to extract it and be able to access everything. So go ahead and click that one because it's pretty much an essential to have just in case. It doesn't take up very much space, so it's fine to have. The next thing we're going to move on to is imaging. GIMP, which is similar to Photoshop. I don't really use GIMP because I have Photoshop, so if you like to do Photoshop-esque things, GIMP is a good thing to have. And if you've seen one of my videos before, you'll see that I use GreenShot. That's a great program for taking screenshots. So that covers imaging. Now we're going to go ahead and go to Documents. So under Documents, we have Open Office, which is essentially an open version of a very dumbed down Microsoft Office where you can open up Word documents, Excel documents, stuff like that. So if you don't have Office and you need to do some stuff in a very simple way, kind of, you can go ahead and click Open Office. I have Microsoft Office installed, so I'm not going to click that one. Adobe Reader, this reader right here, that's definitely essential. Anytime you have a PDF document, you'll need to have Adobe Reader installed so you can see that document. There's also some different PDF things here. I do not use any of these. Personally, I just stick with Reader. I don't do a lot of PDF creation, so I cannot comment on these. And now we're going to move on to security. So there's Security Essentials, which I'll go ahead and check. That's mainly what I run. The only other one I would check here is Malwarebytes. If you like Avast or AVG, go ahead and click them if that's something that you like to use. I'm just going to stick with Essentials and Malwarebytes. File sharing, if you do any type of downloading, you may look at one of these. And we're going to move on to other. There's Evernote. That's just like basically a notepad-ish type program that's out in the cloud. Online storage, that's a big one. Dropbox, I use Dropbox, so I'm going to check that box there. I don't really use Google Drive, Mozilla, OneDrive, or anything like that, but if you do, just click the box. And the last thing here is developer tools. Again, unless you're some type of developer, web developer, you do any type of coding, anything like that, you might need one of these. So if you need something like that, just check the box. I mean, you'll see here we got quite a few things checked already, and I've tried to go over everything as quickly as I could, give maybe a brief explanation, but if you have any questions about anything more specifically, please feel free to comment on this video, and I'll answer you as quickly as I can and try to get those questions answered for you. We kind of went over all this stuff, so the next thing we're going to do is just click this big green box that says Get Installer. Once we do that, it's going to take us to a download page. If you are running Internet Explorer, it's going to ask you to run or save. You can basically just hit run and it's going to kick off this program. Since I'm using Google Chrome, I'm just going to kick off save, and you'll see at the bottom here it's already saved. I'm just going to go ahead and double click it and run it. If you're using Internet Explorer, you just hit run and it'll pretty much take you right to where we're at right now. And we're just going to go ahead and click yes. So now what's going to happen is Ninite is going to go out and start downloading all of these programs from its servers because they created custom installs for all of this stuff. So basically you do not have to touch anything else after this point. Everything is going to download and install all by itself without you having to do anything. You just hit the sit back, but the best thing about this is you can still go out and do whatever you want to do because you don't have to click any more buttons after this. Everything here is going to install without you doing anything. So I hope you find this extremely useful and you use it all the time. Anytime you see an update, if Adobe Reader pops up and says, oh, update Adobe Reader, or if Java pops up and says update Java, don't necessarily go through their steps to do it because you're just going to be sitting there clicking next and okay and maybe checking a box or something. Instead, just open up an internet browser and type in Ninite.com and check what you want to install because Ninite keeps everything up to date. As soon as your computer's telling you that there's an update, Ninite already has that update packaged up, ready to go for you to install. And they make it easy for you, like you're seeing right now. Everything's installing for me. I'm not doing anything. So like I said, I hope you find this video useful. If you have any questions regarding any of these programs that we went over or the process that we did to do this, please feel free to contact me, comment on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, and I really hope you enjoy these videos that I provide for you. Have a great day. Thank you.